Welcome back, everyone, to the Sporting Chance podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Mountain State Falconry Supply.com, your home for your micro hawking needs.
What's up, guys? If you're anything like me and you like braided equipment, leashes, jesses, there's no better place than MidnightFalconry.com. Richard Moats puts a lot of effort into the finest, tightest braids that money can buy.
Listen, folks, now's the time. Heck, it might even be too late. Check out North Mountain Goshawks to secure your hunting partner for, inshallah, next season, but possibly the season after. All right. Welcome, everyone, back to the Sporting Chance podcast. Got Casey in the house sipping on his monster.
Yep.
Got his blaze orange hat on during the middle of summer.
Yep. I don't want to get shot.
and then we got Lew Souder in the house. Thanks for joining us, Lew.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
So, Lew, where are you calling from?
I live in Gardnerville, Nevada.
Awesome.
Yeah, at the base of the Sierra Mountains. We're about 20 minutes away from Lake Tahoe.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And Lake Tahoe is California, correct?
Yeah, we're pretty close to the border there.
All right. How long have you been out that way?
Oh, now probably moved out here. The second time I moved out here, it was 1999. So, yeah, 26 years.
What's the weather like? I mean, I'm guessing it's hot.
Dude, I grew up on the East Coast. Actually, I grew up in North Carolina. I think that's where you're from, Aaron, right?
Yeah. What part?
Havelock.
Yep. Coast.
It's close to the coast. Just east or south of New Bern. Close to New Bern. Yeah.
Swampy.
But I lived all up and down the East Coast, up to New Jersey and down to Florida.
Really?
And then moved out to California and lived up there. And this place where I live now is the best place I've ever lived. But, don't spread that around.
I know.
Yeah.
Everybody that lives out west or moves out west, they just can't understand why more people don't move out west.
I've never met anyone who's moved out west who regretted it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I've never. Same.
I come back and visit on the East Coast, and holy cow, man! It's like, how did I live with this humidity?
Yeah, the humidity, and in New Jersey, the
people. Casey, you're living in New Jersey, right?
Just outside of New Jersey.
Yeah.
In New York now.
Yeah, coming out here, I'm shoveling the driveway in the snow in a short sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
It's snowing on me, and it's in New Jersey. It was 50 degrees. You'd freeze your ass off. It's just crazy. So,
yeah, it's the humidity that gets you, as they say.
Exactly.
But now
we're in a heat wave here right now.
Yes,
it's starting to die down, but it was like high 90s with humidity as high as it gets, just miserable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jersey was the same way. New York was the same. It was like what? It was like one. I think Aaron was like a little behind us, maybe. I don't know, because ours ended kind of. I say ended. It's 90 degrees today, but it was like 100 here for a week straight. And even at night, it was ridiculous. It was disgusting.
Aaron, where do you live in North Carolina?
I live north of Charlotte.
Okay.
That's the easiest way. I live in a town. Nobody would know the name of it, but it's just, if you get on Highway 85 going north outside of Charlotte, about 20 miles outside of Charlotte.
I gotcha. Yeah. I'm not too familiar with that area, but I went to school at Appalachian State University.
Up in Boone. Yeah, that's a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
Appalachian State University.
Yeah.
You never heard of Appalachian?
Where they teach you how to cook moonshine and stuff at that school?
Moonshine. All kinds of crazy stuff.
Teach you how to do owl calls.
It's a big hippie school now.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do they specialize in?
That's just like probably liberal arts, right?
Yeah,
just a normal college,
Oh, okay. It's not like a school specific.
Sure. No, I'm sure they've got your average programs: engineering, teaching, English, psychology.
Like Cornell, Cornell is known for like their ornithology program and stuff like that, right? And then like Harvard's like good law program. I don't know. Trying to act smart. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I only went for 1 year, so yeah.
I was just trying to fit in. So you moved out west. Were you did you get it? Did you get into, we're going to ask like, the usual questions, but I am curious. Did you get into falconry on the East Coast or did you get into it later?
Later. In fact, like a lot of people in falconry, I read My Side of the Mountain when I was like 10 years old.
Right.
And, I was a weird kid that walked around with an imaginary hawk in my fist. It's
not crazy. Weird. Not around here.
He still does that.
I
still do that.
I didn't know anybody at the time. And it wasn't until I moved out west and, I was an adult. I forget how old I was, but I met another guy. We had a similar interest in reptiles, and went over to his house. He collected books, and on his kitchen table was Frank Beebe's falconry manual. I'm like, wow, there's books on falconry? Really? I didn't know. This is so. So he had an interest in falconry stuff, and a few years later, we had all kind of moved apart. He was living in Colorado, and I think I was living in Florida at that time. He called me up. He said, "Hey, can you hear that? That's my red tail talking to me in the background. Like, you got a red tail." So that kind of like, if my friend Gavin can do it, I can do it. So yeah. I think in 2004, I finally got licensed and became an apprentice.
It's awesome. Out west.
Yeah.
You flew a red tail, I'm guessing.
Yep. 2 years. But Casey, just like you, man, it was just like, I saw on a little clip of a guy walking backwards in the field. It was a grainy clip. He was walking backwards in the field, and a dude ran past him and flushed some ducks, and he turned around and let this goshawk go, flew up and caught a duck. And right then I just knew that I was gonna fly goshawks. I just had to get through the first 2 years,
Were there guys out there flying goshawks that you were able to see and get?
There was no one.
Wow.
I was the only active falconer in my area. Now there's probably, right around this area, there's probably at least 10 active falconers.
That's unfortunate.
This used to be like a falconry paradise. I mean, and I had it all to myself. It was unreal when I first got into it. Things have changed now, but that's what I want to do. I used to be an avid duck hunter, a gun hunter, and when I saw that you can catch ducks with a goshawk, that's what I got into. That's why I wanted to do falconry. So,
well, it looks like you accomplished that based off of all your awesome videos. Yeah, it's epic.
I've got a goshawk right now that I've decided today to start hacking because he slept for the first time ever. He slept outside last night in a tree.
Oh yeah,
on purpose?
No, I'd love to tell you that it was on purpose, but it wasn't.
That happens, yeah.
So he's.
You didn't get very much sleep last night, did you?
Believe it or not, I was so over it at that point. I was like,
told you, I texted him at like 2 a.m. because we were watching the game and then the fights, and I was up late, and then I had to go outside, and I texted him at like 2 a.m. He didn't answer me. I was like, all right, what's going on? What are you doing? You under the tree?
Yeah.
You sitting there? Because it was like right at his house. No answer.
So, it was. So I opened up. I put him out in the Muse past couple days. Still haven't quite figured out exactly what I was going to do because we're in that little, period. It's July. We got quite a ways till, the season opens up. He's fat. So I called Paul and was talking to him about, he has a bird from the exact same clutch. Yeah. Paul Aaliyah.
Okay.
He has a bird from the exact same clutch, another tiercel. And I was like, what are we going to do with these birds? And he said exactly what I thought my thoughts were start to cut their weight enough to where they want to come to a lure when you want them to, instead of just being hog fat all the time. They could still be fat, but they need to come to a lure when you want them to. So I opened up the Muse and I threw down the lure, and there was a little, I'd put a little piece of quail on it, and then he would eat off the lure and I would drag it around and he would, skitter across the ground after it. And we did that for a little bit, and then he flew up on top of a shed and I was trying to get him down from the shed with the lure. And then he noticed all the birds on top of, there's a cherry tree draping over one of my buildings. And he saw then the birds were flocking to this tree, eating the little black cherries. And he was like, the listeners aren't going to be able to see, but
right.
Just doing the inquisitive, doing the inquisitive baby imprint, spinning its head around looking. And I was like, all right, we got to get this show on the road. It's going to get dark. So I eventually sat a ladder down, and as soon as I sat it down, it made a little too much noise, and he flew up into a tree.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets up into the tree, and he starts hopping around, and he's, not going to come down. I knew it. So I took a carcass, threw it around. He was looking at it, throwing the lure on the ground. He's looking at it. Here's a pro tip for you guys out there. Domestic mice will not climb down from a height.
Okay.
So if you take domestic mice and you sat them on a fence post, it would take a lot of time and a lot of will for that mouse to come down from that fence post.
Have you been bagging him on domestic mice as he was growing?
No.
That's his intended quarry.
This was desperation. So I thought, all right, maybe because it's starting to get dark, maybe these little white mice, the brightness of them might attract him to come down. It might be interesting enough for him to come down. So I set him on a little table out in the yard, and sure enough, he's looking at him, but he's way up there in a tree, and he's not coming down. So I just said, all right, he's staying the night in a tree.
I'm going to hack him.
And I told my wife, she's like, well, let's set the alarm for 5:30. I was like, there's no point. I was like, he's not going anywhere. Either he's getting eaten tonight, or I wake up whenever I wake up and he'll be in the yard.
Yeah, he's not going to leave the yard. Not yet.
He's not leaving the yard. So luckily I have barred owls, BARRED, not barn. Barn would be just as well too. And barred owls aren't what I would call a deadly owl. Like if I had great horned owls in the yard, I might be sweating, but there's no great horned owls as far as I know in my neighborhood. Okay. And the barred owls, they might, but they're just, they're mostly eating small rodents and
right. They're not big, right?
Yeah, they're not terribly big, but I mean, I told in the last episode, I was manning a bird out in the dark 2 nights ago, and I had my AirPods in, and I just heard like this big smash, and a barred owl smashed into my rabbit hutch trying to get the juvenile rabbits out of there. Yeah, smashed right into the front of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't rule out a barred owl from getting it, but I feel like if they're great horned owls in my yard, he would have been dead for sure last night.
Probably.
Absolutely dead. So anyway, I woke up and called his name, and I could hear him in the woods, and he came flying up. And so we're hacking now.
Did you call him down, or is he still out right now?
He's still out.
All right, whatever.
He Dracula walked me. He got my feet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I went out there, and he's hungry. His ass is going to come down to the lure. He's really hungry right now.
Did you get a transmitter on him?
No.
Oh my God, Aaron's like trying to be too old school. Lew, you have more experience than both of us combined, so why don't you give us a little?
I learned my lesson. When I first got my first goshawk, I flew without a transmitter. My second goshawk too. It's not until you lose your goshawk that you're kicking yourself, and it's just not worth it. So
he won't spend another day out without a transmitter. Yeah. But I'm just not. I know he's young enough to where he's going to stay here in the yard.
And I understand you have 2 red tails also.
I do. Is
that right? Yeah,
they're hacked right now. They're being hacked right now too at the same time.
Yeah, they're. Yeah,
no,
they're tethered. They're tethered out in the open yard right now with big piles of food around them.
Yeah,
and you had a goshawk before, right?
I've had a few goshawks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I lost one on hack. I lost one on hack last year to predation by a wild red tail, which is, according to people with a lot more experience than me, very unusual for that to have happened.
especially a big, like, what was that bird? That bird you were putting her out, she was like 1,300 grams or something.
1,300 grams. Yeah,
Giant.
she was as big or bigger than any female red tail around here.
I would not expect that.
My theory is it was probably a territorial, like, crabbing thing that just the red tail got the upper hand and just started eating her, is my guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of red tails. Well, I've had a red tail kill a hawk before, but it was in a hunting situation. So where the hawk flew off at a long distance and caught a rabbit. And when I got there, red tail came up out of the sagebrush. I'm like, yeah.
Oof.
You were like, well,
so it was kind of robbing
I gotta breed another one.
What's that?
Go ahead, Aaron.
I was saying, so the red tail was robbing your bird?
I don't know. I just had a dead hawk and there was bunny fur. The bunny wasn't there. So all I can think is that, it was near some big cottonwood trees and there must have been a red tail up in the tree. And when I got there, it flew up out of the sagebrush. So maybe he caught the rabbit and it's screaming and he's mantling and red tail came down on top of him and killed him. And
I have a friend who they were out in the woods hawking with Harris hawks and they saw a great horned owl fly up out of a creek bed and during the day, and they go over to check it out. There's a warm red tail's body laying there.
Really?
And there's also a warm squirrel laying there.
Wow.
So this red tail probably caught a squirrel and the gray horned owl was probably just roosted up above it and saw its opportunity and just couldn't resist and went down. Could you imagine if your bird like started crabbing with the great horned owl? So you get over there and you got your Harris hawks on a great horned owl with a dead red tail and a dead squirrel. I said, I hope you grabbed the squirrel. They said, absolutely.
Yeah. I would not expect like a great horn to come in broad daylight, do something like that. But
no,
I mean, you can't rule it out.
I guess they couldn't pass up an opportunity like that.
Maybe it's hungry.
Sitting right above it, it's hungry and it sees that play out, it's going to go for it.
I know.
Unless, my bird has grabbed great horned owls out of trees during the day, where they fly up there and there happen to be a roosting great horned owl and there's a big fight. So maybe it had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Red tail was going after a squirrel and I don't know. Yeah.
That's one of the really cool things about falconry, or the natural things that we see that virtually no one else gets to see. Because we're putting in so many miles through the woods and brush, and you end up running into, whether it's like a 12-point buck laying there dead, or a human body laying there, or something,
Yes.
Really? You found human bodies before?
I never have, but plenty of people have.
Yeah. We had a good story. Teddy Moritz told that story. She found a guy in the woods. Yeah, that story's crazy.
Yeah, go back to that episode if you didn't hear it. Our first episode with Teddy.
Who was it?
Teddy Moritz. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So enough about me and my goshawk. Yeah. Lou, you breed goshawks?
I try. I haven't been having a whole lot of success past few years. It's kind of weird. It's like when I first started. I mean, you could do it with your eyes closed. It was, and I guess I think I started having more issues when I started getting into Siberian birds for some reason. I don't know, but yeah, I think the best year I ever had was I was doing nothing but North Americans. Everybody was breeding North Americans at the time. And I think I produced 12 babies that year out of 3 females.
Wow.
So yeah. And toward the end, I was just kind of like, the ones I couldn't give away, I'd sell for like $300.
Yeah. I remember when I was first calling around to like buy a goshawk like 10 years ago, and like female North Americans were like $1,800.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's when they got scarce.
Well, I thought that was cheap because now they're selling for like 25, 3. Like you can't get your hands on anything now. I feel like
I was selling females for $1,200 to $1,500 at the time. Okay. And,
on you next time,
males. Males were like 800.
It's crazy. It's like Harris hawk prices, Lou. What are you doing?
But then everybody stopped. Everybody stopped breeding, and whatever. And And, then I got into the white birds. I'm going to make $1 million with the white birds.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, because they breed complete like much later, right? It's like a completely different thing.
Yeah. Most of the time, usually, yeah. My this year, my one North American. I have two North Americans. One I'm sending back to the guy, the owner, because I've had her for 3 years now, 4 years, and she's not shown any breeding, no courting or ever. So I'm just getting rid of her now. I try different things every year. But anyway,
Okay.
but my other North American, she laid her first egg in, I think mid-March. And I'd only gotten like 2 inseminations in her. It was really early.
That's crazy. Yeah, it is early.
Yeah. And she laid one egg and just shut down, just stopped. And the egg wasn't fertile.
That's so weird.
That was a bust. And then
what do you think that is? It's like a tractor trailer drove by like off in the distance and like threw her off or something.
No, I'm relatively rural. I mean, I have neighbors, but I'm on like 2 acres, and everybody's kind of spread out a little bit.
Right.
I don't think anything really just threw her off. It's just weird, man. I've had last year was like even worse. I inseminated 2-3 times a day. Wow. I had 5 birds standing, 3 tiercels donating. I was inseminating every day, multiple times, every bird. Not a single bird laid an egg.
Wow.
And this is all through the season.
What the heck?
How do you explain that? I've never had anything like that happen before. So
do you have any guesses?
No. If I did, no, I don't. And I don't know if you've kind of call around, I mean, I know one breeder who I think got 8 or 9 Siberian eggs and only one was fertile.
Yeah, right.
So it's just the nature of breeding, it's hit and miss.
This year was rough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It seemed that way. I was getting messages from people like, do you know anybody? Oh, my breeder fell through. They didn't produce anything. Do you know anybody? I'm calling around around because I like to do that anyway.
I've talked to you a couple times.
Yeah. I always like to tempt myself and call around. And it's like, nobody really had that much success this year. It's very minimal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seemed that way. Right. Moglich didn't really make much.
Nope.
Seth didn't make. He made some birds, but not what I wanted. And then Lew, didn't make a white. I wanted a white tiercel. I mean, you talked about that. Mm-hmm. I still want one. This is like the 4th year in a row that I'm looking. And
why a white tiercel? What do you want to do with the white tiercel?
I want to fly the white tiercel.
I know, but what are you going to fly? What do you want to catch?
So I want to fly.
Don't tell me squirrels. You can't hunt squirrels with a goshawk.
I know it's impossible. It's like forbidden.
No.
It is forbidden. No, it's like, I want to fly. Basically, I want to fly the biggest tiercel I can get my hands on and see how he does on squirrels. Okay. But obviously rabbits is like, I got the dog, so I like hunting rabbits. And if the duck thing would like calm down where I don't feel like I'm risking my bird's life every time I have to. Did you go after ducks this past season, Lew?
I did.
And were you nervous at all or anything,
I normally, I'm not in a rush to get over to where as long as they're not breaking in, I heard that that's pretty okay. And I did a lot of catch and release this year. Not a whole lot. I mean, I got to explain. This used to be like the perfect, like I said, a falconry paradise. I had rabbits, unbelievable amount of rabbits just, within a mile from my house, and ducks, the canals. I had permission on all the canals to hunt ducks, in between the houses and stuff. It was awesome. And it wasn't unusual for me, to go out for a duck slip and get 20 slips a day easily.
Wow. That's nice.
Easily. Okay. And then, so we had the rabbit hemorrhagic disease just knock out the rabbits where, I have to drive 3 hours now just to get consistent rabbit slips.
Wow.
And then I guess it was the avian influenza. I don't know. All I know is that, I can't find a resident duck now. I mean, they used to have resident ducks every year, and the migration, there was this one section that I hunt. It's called the Long Field, and it's a 3-mile one-way walk. all along canals, and you can get multiple slips. I mean, it's just insane. And I think last year I walked it 3 times, and each time I probably got 2 slips. And that's a lot of walking in waders,
Right. For 3 slips.
Crazy.
2 slips. Yeah. Now, okay. So now I have to ask, because I always forget to ask, and then I make a mental note to remind myself. So when you said when it was boom and you had a bunch of rabbits, can you, it might be difficult because I'm putting you on the spot, but can you put that into slips per hour?
Slips per hour?
Yeah.
Yeah. SPH.
SPH, we call it on the Sporting Chance podcast.
God, 10, 15, 20.
20 slips an hour. So you're walking a field in an hour.
I'm not kidding. Casey, I would see, there were times where I would be walking and I'd come up like rolling hills, and on the hill, running up the hill in front of me would be 100 rabbits.
What the heck?
I swear to God. I mean, people think it's like an exaggeration, but I hunt with diehard goshawkers. All the guys I hunt with, they all fly goshawks.
Nice.
I'm kind of stuck up that way,
Good. I like it.
So, and a lot of them are from California, and I tell them about these stories and stuff. Got to come out here, and they would come out and just, it's unbelievable.
That's like
that's
too
what
many.
It used to be. That's what it used to be like.
Right.
We would have goshawk meat. I don't know. Did you ever hear about the goshawk meats we used to have?
I've heard about them. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about them. I've always wanted to try to weasel my way in.
It's not a big deal, I mean, at the most, you'd be like 10 or 12 guys showing up with their birds. And we used to go to this place called Jackpot, and we would have.
Yeah. I was going to say, where is that? Where's Jackpot at? Where's that?
Jackpot is on the Idaho border in northeastern Nevada.
Okay.
It's a little casino town. It's amazing. You drive for hours where there's nothing but desert and nothing, and all of a sudden, there's this high-rise casino. And people from Twin Cities, Idaho, they come in, and it keeps the place alive. But that place was just freaking unreal, man. It was just unbelievable. And we would have these goshawk meets, and we would show up, and we had this thing, we call it the Game Sled Award. The person that can catch the most rabbits during the course of the meet. And I got a picture of my buddy Mark, who is flying a female North American, which is perfect for the cover. A lot of times it's high sage. He's 8 jackrabbits laid out in the snow.
Nice.
It is just unreal.
That sounds nice. So then after the hemorrhagic disease, it would equate to like what you could assess per slips per hour after the hemorrhagic disease.
Like maybe 1, if you're lucky.
In an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Walking. Yeah. And, trying to get a new bird started, I made that mistake where I thought that, hey, I would try to get a new bird started during this downturn. And man, that bird got so aggressive toward me. If you can't channel that aggression or that drive toward game, then, we walk for, 20, 30 minutes. And next thing you know, she started, getting puffed up and started looking over her shoulder at me. And, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah. It's hard. Getting a new bird started without slip numbers is hard.
Yeah. So
it's
you got a slip max.
You got a slip max, as the kids say.
What's a slip max?
It's just some stupid thing that kids say nowadays. They say max after everything. So like looks max.
Oh, really?
They try to look good. So looks max, gesture max is what I do when I'm in a customer's house trying to make a sale. I'm gesture maxing. I'm being real. Oh yeah. Like trying to,
he starts juggling,
trying to make them laugh. So they sign the contract. Aaron's, he does education max. So he's education maxing the kids, making sure they all
right
learn.
Now I'm unemployment maxing.
Aaron's bum maxing right now during the summer.
See what you want to do, Lew, when you want a good year of producing gosses, you're trying to goss max.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Trying to inseminate
I
max.
Goss max. I fail at it every year.
You don't though. You're one of the guys that's up there, and that you're always usually making some birds each year.
Yeah. So this year, I made 1 bird this year, and I think I gave it to Steve Coffer, and I'm really hoping that it's the first time I've made that type of hybrid, North American going into a Siberian.
Okay.
So we'll see how that turns out. Steve was asking me, he says, so what do I expect for flying weight? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the guinea pig. Let me know. Keep me posted. So
I thought you were making those in the past, or was it a different way around?
Yeah, Siberian going into female North American. The females come out white and the tersels are dark or normal colored. When you put North American into a white Siberian, all the babies come out dark.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's very interesting. Okay. And now those birds, I've heard that those birds have they are very intense. So that's true?
Yes.
Lew?
Absolutely true. If you don't have the game numbers, and that's like that bird I was telling you about, when I was trying to get started. Yeah, it did not turn out good. I end up transferring that bird to a falconer that did pretty well with her. Yubi Everett.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
friend of the show.
Yeah, he flew that bird a season or two. I don't know, but caught ducks and jacks with it and stuff. But yeah,
real aggressive, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, very aggressive. And it's just that when I was trying to get it started, I didn't have the game numbers. I mean, shame on me for not securing a bunch of bags,
right?
In the beginning. And I know I did bag it, whenever I could, but still, you have to have success every single time you take it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ideally, I have this thing, where when a bird goes after a jackrabbit and it almost catches, like maybe even pulls fur and it ends up on the ground, I'll have a bag ready and I toss it out right away. And that bird just transfers over and grabs this thing. It's almost like they think they caught it.
Yeah.
And, then it's like golden. It's like perfect.
See, I do the exact same thing and I swear by it.
Yeah.
Like if you're like your bird's chasing, new bird, chasing squirrels, chase whatever, keeps missing, but like really trying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know, all right, it's getting late. Like, let's not push this anymore. I'll wait for like the next nice, like effort, like good effort. And I just throw a carcass out. But like, it has to be like within like birds looking, where did it go? And then you just like, and they jump on it. And like you said, it looks like they think they caught it.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like their brain can't like, it's like, oh, there it is. And then it catches it, but then it's just either a bag or a carcass. And I think that helps like get their brain like focused on what you're doing rather than just going home empty handed or just like cropping up on a lure or something. I don't know. I think it worked.
Remember, I had a bird named Dagger, a Tersel Siberian.
We have to talk about the names of your birds because you have like the coolest names. You have like Katana, Dagger.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. All
lightsaber.
Stiletto.
Stiletto. Yeah.
Lightsaber. There's one I haven't used yet.
Use that this year.
Still that one. Yeah. Yeah. There was a really good, that was a bird that was in a breeding program that I inherited. So I got it as an adult. It was never hunted before. And I wanted to get it going on ducks. And I took it out. I didn't give it a bag to get it going, but it would naturally chase ducks, but it just never really was closing the deal. It was coming close, it was reaching out, missing, whatever. And after, I don't know, probably a week or so of that, I secured a bag. And I remember Dagger going out and almost catching this duck, but ended up on the bank. I took the bag out and threw it, and it flew over its head. And I remember watching him watch it fly over, and he flew over, bound to it. The very next slip, he smoked the duck. And
nice,
beautiful, beautiful flight, man. I got it on video. It was just cool. So yeah. It makes all the difference in the world.
It does. Yeah, they have to be confident, fit, and confident. So breeding this year was, you produced one, so I would say it wasn't completely unsuccessful.
Oh, I was disappointed. I didn't finish that story. So I had one bird that laid 2 fertile eggs, and then another bird laid 4 eggs and broke all of them.
Oh no!
Broke them all. First time she's laid for me, and she broke them all. And that, that's just, I feel sick to my stomach still, going out there and seeing that. And then the 2 that were fertile, I let the bird sit on for like 25 days. Then I stuck them in the incubator, and the first one that was laid went full term and just never pipped. And it's one of those things, I was calling Moglich about it. He has more experience than anybody I know, and he lives, very close to me.
Yeah.
He said, hey, just let nature take its course, because if you help it out and it dies, you're going to blame yourself, and more than likely it'll die. So, just let it happen. And that's what I did. And I have this. Have you ever heard of the egg buddy?
I was just going to ask if there was a heartbeat coming from the egg.
Yeah. I mean, I was monitoring the heartbeat every day. It was strong. Then it was getting a little weak. And I'm like, God, I want to help, but no, it's going to die anyway. If it's going to hatch, it's going to hatch. So yeah, it went full term. It was fully developed. Just didn't pip for some reason.
So what, yeah, because my thought is you said, I would get in there and try to open it or something. And
some people I've seen where that happens. And I've also heard people doing that where they get the chick to, hatch with help, but there was always something wrong with that chick.
Right.
There were some developmental issues or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem right. So
you're almost better off.
That would be the bird I buy.
That's one of the questions you have. That did you have to help it hatch?
Yeah, I need to add that to a list of questions.
Yeah.
That's a good pro tip. Did you have to help this bird hatch by any chance? Just want to write that off.
I bought a female European goshawk once, and she stopped growing at about 800 grams. I took it upon myself to do a DNA test on it, and wouldn't you know, that was a tiercel. Huh.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
tiercel at a female price.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Compensated?
Yeah, I think the breeder was trying to profit max.
Yeah, that sucks. But you did okay with that bird. That was your first one ever, right? That was my first ever goshawk, first ever real imprint, and I took game with it. So it wasn't a raging success, but it was okay. Yeah, because you were predominantly going after squirrels, and you had a tiercel finish or something, right?
Yeah, it was a tiercel. It was, finish. I'm sure it's just some sort of European, but I've said for this year that I don't want to buy any more birds, but all this talk of Siberian and Finnish goshawks, I got to get another. I got to buy another one.
They're really, talk about game-driven birds. The Siberian Finnish cross.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And they're so easy as long as you have slips, they're so easy to deal with.
Have you seen my videos of catching the geese?
I've seen all of your videos. You talk about the snow geese when you come up over that berm.
Geese, yeah.
That's that video needs to be if you could put a video in a frame and put it on your wall, that's that video.
It's called a picture,
Siberian
Casey.
Fin. That's siphon. Siberian Fin.
Siphon. That's cool.
That's a good name.
Yeah, that's a great name. Yeah,
I didn't name her.
I think that's Mark Moglich's favorite video because he must have reshared that video over the years, probably 30 times.
Well, he produced that bird.
I think that's why he likes it so much.
He made it and sold it to a falconer in Reno, and that falconer happened to hurt his knee and ended up in my breeding program, and he wanted me to fly the bird, and that's all he flew were ducks.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a cool story because I don't know if you know a guy named Erlen Renslow, hardcore goshawker. Hardcore dude. This guy's an excellent falconer. And anyway, he had bought a fin from Seth. He actually flew out to Pennsylvania, picked the bird up, and drove it back home. This chamber raised bird, and he loved that bird, and it was doing so good. And then it got electrocuted. Ended up on transformer and got electrocuted end of December, early January. Had so much of the season left over, and Siphon at the time was in one of my mews, and I said, well, hey, why don't you fly this bird? And he said, okay, yeah, what the heck, finish out the season. And he was showing me these geese that were in, around where he lived. And I said, you should try siphon on those things, man. I bet you she would take one, and sure enough, he did it. And son of a bitch, it was amazing. And then next thing I know is like, all I want to do was just catch geese. So I went out there with stiletto and goosehawk for the last 2 weekends of the season. So,
oh yeah, no, that's his name is Erlen, right?
Erlen, yeah.
His bird got electrocuted, and I think he put together, and I have to look for it because he sent it to me when my bird got electrocuted. He basically, and he put together basically like a path to sue the power company for the loss of your bird.
Yeah, he got compensated for his bird.
He did. He got fully compensated for his bird. They had to update that transformer. They had to fix a whole bunch of stuff. And he sent that to me. And I just was busy with work and life and kids, and I never got around to doing it. But he sent everything to me. He's like, this is what you say. This is how you file.
Yeah.
Like, they'll compensate you.
You have to be retired. Just, when you're retired and you have a lot of time. Yeah. And we hit up Erlen. He's a retired school teacher. Right. So whenever we need something, professionally written up or, whatever, that deals with falconry, we just, pass it on to Erlen.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I did the same thing he did with my first parent reared goss from Lance Christensen. Mm-hmm. I flew there, rented a car. I checked all the falconry, the boxes and all that and the glove, and checked all that. Flew there, rented the car, drove to his house, picked up the bird and drove back.
Yeah. You wanted to, did you check, did you bring quail with you? I can't remember. No.
I didn't. No. I don't know. Maybe I did. I think I might have.
I know somebody did. They put quail in a lunchbox or something.
I prearranged with him that I was going to get some quail.
No live quail, though. He won't sell live quail, Lance.
No,
he will not.
He has his own line. He doesn't want people, reproducing his line.
He doesn't want them reverse engineering the quail that he's created. He's got really
neat
good
little quail. Yeah, they're cool.
Good, very nutritious. They're on like a special diet. Seth does the same thing. And those quail are.
This guy? Who are you talking about? This guy that has the quail?
Lance Christensen.
Lance Christensen.
Oh, Lance Christensen.
You've ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, I haven't heard of him. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. No.
I had a 2-hour conversation with him the other day.
Yeah. That's like, yeah.
The bird I got from Lance was probably the best bird I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down.
That was yeah.
So what do you feed your birds, Lew? Because that's the cost in breeding birds is how, what if it's quail, how many quail are you going through per year?
Quail, I raise rodents for my, I have my other hobby is like snakes.
Of course it is. Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So I raise rodents and quail and rodents and then stuff I catch. I used to be, I would fill up the freezer. I have 3 chest freezers and a full-size standing freezer. So, lots of room for food and whatnot. My family comes over and they call it the freezer of horror because, everything's in there. They want to all look in the freezer,
Yeah.
So I kind of switch off. The quail I get is from a breeder in Pennsylvania. And the quail are huge. They're giant quail. They're not the old breeders either. Very rarely will I find any eggs in any of these old, and they're like sometimes over 300 grams.
Wow.
They're huge.
Yeah, those are the jumbos, they call them.
Yeah.
There was a period of time where people were buying quail from this guy who raises them for meat, and they would freeze the retired breeders. They were so big. And they like half the time their skulls were exposed. They had no feathers on their back. They'd be loaded with eggs. They'd have bumblefoot. Disgusting.
Yeah, it's nothing like these are like the toppest, the most best quality quail that you can get.
Yeah.
Most of the time, most of the breast meat's like a dark red color.
That's good.
It's awesome. And
that's how you can tell if the quail are good. If the breast meat is dark.
Yeah. How much do you guys pay for quail?
I pay about $1.37 a quail.
$1.37? Well, that's really good.
Yeah.
I exchange foot massages and
sexual favors.
Other sexual favors for quail. So whatever that's worth.
What do they call it? TMI?
Yeah.
A friend of mine breeds quail, so when I need quail, he hooks me up, and usually it's, he usually just kind of gives them to me, and I do favors for him later.
These days with the prices of quail, you kind of have to.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I feel lucky. I pay $250 a quail.
That's what it used to be.
Yeah,
back in the day, shipped.
Yeah,
not
and
these
anymore.
Are
shipped. I go in. We buy 4,000 at a time.
Yeah,
and get them shipped out here, and we all split it up. So, yep.
Yeah, that's not a bad that's not a bad price at all.
You do feed rodents to your goshawks?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Some people don't do that. People think goshawks only eat quail for some reason.
Come on.
That's why I was asking.
I don't know why. It makes no sense.
I had a bird that I was hacking. No, it was a bird that I would let. I used to have a pool, a deck built around my above ground pool. And, it had trees around and stuff. And that's where I would leave the birds, when they're growing up, and they would hop around, get up in a tree but one day, the bird got up, just like you said, you got up on top of the roof of the house and flew up into a tree because there were a bunch of robins in there. And he came down because I started throwing mice in the yard because he grew up, ever since he was able to run around, I would throw little fuzzy mice out there for him to eat.
Yeah.
And that's why I was kind of wondering if when you were telling me the story, if you had given them mice in the past. But
I should start because I also breed rodents.
Do you? All right, cool.
Yeah. I don't actually, I do own one snake, but usually I own, throughout my life, there's been periods where I've had, 50 snakes. So what kind of snakes are you into?
A lot of people think that's a lot.
50?
It's not. I don't even know how many snakes I have.
What kind of snakes?
Mostly colubrids. Yeah, as far as my rodent colonies, I raised 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 colonies of hairless rats, and
that's cool.
Shoot, about 15 colonies of mice.
The hairless is nice because I guess there's no castings or anything.
Yeah, I have certain snakes that I could not get to eat regular rats. But as soon as I started using hairless rats, another snake person told me, I said, these are more desirable for certain snakes. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Interesting.
I bred hog noses for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about picky eaters when they hatch and you're trying to get them to eat? It's like you got like tuna fish, you got like fish juice, you got frog juice, and you're like mixing it all together to try to get the little ones to eat. It's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I've never worked with hog noses, but I always thought that if you just use toads, just send them with toads, that would work.
Yeah, well, you hatch out like 20 babies. I don't, what am I going to do? I don't got like a bunch of toads running around. I could just run around and grab.
You only need a couple.
Yeah.
You keep them. Yeah. And you just use it to, you wash your pinky off and.
Yeah. You rub it on it.
You rub it on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I found that the tuna works really well. Like canned tuna, the juice, you just dip it in the juice.
Yeah.
Do
you know what a red-sided garter snake is?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I got one of those this year. Actually, I got 4, but 3 of them got away. They're like little earthworms this big. And you got them started on little guppies.
Right. Those are the easiest snakes to feed.
Yeah, and mine's eating pinkies now.
Yeah, you gotta start them on like earthworms, and you gotta then you gotta get them on goldfish, and then you gotta transition them off to pinkies, more like readily accessible prey.
Yeah, right? I like mine. He's really cool. He's pretty.
Yeah,
he just shed, and I was looking at him this morning.
Yeah, garter snakes are awesome pets. Yeah, Paul speaking to him earlier, Paul has one, and he has half the cage is all nice with rocks and the light, and then the other half is like a aquarium. Yeah, and he's got a bunch of fish, and then he'll drop the fish in, and then you see the thing go in the water and like chase him around under the water and catch him. It's so cool.
Right. Yeah.
He still has that?
I don't remember if he still has it. I know he did have it. And it was a lot of fun to watch.
I've got Gila monster, beaded lizard, monkey-tailed skink, radiated tortoises. I've got a blue-tongued skink back that I gave to a kid a long time ago, and he's going off to college, so he gave it back to me. Mm-hmm. I've got North American wood turtles, Blandings turtles.
Cool.
Yeah.
North Carolina is one of those places where you can have venomous snakes.
Non-native for the most part. So you cannot have timber rattlesnakes, eastern diamondbacks, coral snakes, or Carolina pygmies because they're native protected.
Right.
But if they're native, if they're not protected and they're not native, it's easy.
You can't get a permit to collect, Aaron?
You can get a permit.
You should do that.
To collect?
Yeah, you can get permits in almost every state to collect wild venomous or snakes and collect them. And you can either kill them and eat them, or you could keep them, basically.
The only native venomous that you could have are copperheads and cottonmouths because they're
in your state.
But you could have whatever else you wanted. You could have king cobra. Mm-hmm. You could have black mambas.
One of my favorite things to do is go into fauna classifieds and look through the venomous section. And kind of see what's out there. Like, wow, I could buy a king cobra for $1,000. Yeah,
$1,000. I mean, I went to a reptile. They call it a hot reptile show.
Hot show,
right?
Hamburg,
in
Pennsylvania.
PA. Oh yeah. Me and my brother-in-law, we drove like 3.5 hours out there. Dude, this guy had like albino king cobras, like pied king cobras, and like they were like $200. Wow. And I'm like, why? I'm like, why so? Like, why? And he was like, I felt bad for him. He was like, I've never seen anybody make anything like this. I've been working for years to make it. And he's like, no one wants them. And they're just, they had like 30 of them, like little ones. And I felt bad for them. They're all like white and like pied and cool looking. Yeah. And I was like, my wife would kill me if I got something like that. So
there's been a point in time where I had Sudan red spitting cobras, albino monocled cobras, rhino vipers, puff adders, gaboon vipers, temple vipers. I had a banded Egyptian cobra.
Oh, that's cool.
Every subspecies or every locality of copperhead. I had cantils,
nice
cottonmouths. Yeah, I had all types of stuff. Now I'm only into if it's venomous, I don't want anything deadly.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So just something like. I've thought about getting pygmy rattlesnakes again because they're just so neat.
Yeah, they're cool.
And I could have the dusky pygmies, the black ones from Florida where you once lived, but I couldn't have the Carolina ones, which are like tan or red.
The red ones are beautiful.
Yeah. Hyde County, which is just up the coast from where you lived in North Carolina. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I grew up next to a Marine Corps base, and they have what they call a SEER school. Have you heard of SEER? SERE?
When they look to the future or something?
Survival, evasion, something, like living off the land. And they always had, being in Boy Scouts, we would have field trips there and they would have like a collection of venomous snakes.
That's cool.
And this sergeant major was giving us a tour this one day, and I forget how old I was. I didn't have a driver's license because I had to have my mom take me, give me a ride over there. But this guy, he points to this, says, "Yeah, everything in this cage, these are all copperheads." I'm like, "Okay," and these are all rattlesnakes, and these are all water moccasins. I said, "Excuse me, but what about that one on the log there?" He goes, "Yeah, that's a water moccasin." I said, "No, that's a brown water snake." He goes, "No, son, you want to reach your hand in there and pick it up?" I said, "Yeah, I'll pick it up." And I'm just a little kid,
Yeah.
And anyway, he kind of like shut me down, like, whatever. So I went out and I caught a brown water snake and I caught a water moccasin to show him the comparison. Stuck him in this, tackle box and had my mom drive me back over there.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Just to prove
the funny thing is, as soon as I walked, he goes, Hey, you were right about that. That was a brown water snake. As soon as I walked in, he did his research, and it was funny. Yeah.
That is funny. Yeah, it's hard to tell because some of those water snakes, they kind of look. I mean, once you know what you're looking for, it's pretty obvious. Yeah. But like when it's
they all
swimming
have
after
like
you.
Triangular heads.
They all have like a triangular head, like they have venom glands or something. Yeah, but they're not. Yeah.
Hey, Eric,
Those are the nastiest snakes.
They are. Yeah, they are.
The beaded lizards you have, what where are they from? I mean, what subspecies? Just wondering.
I can't recall which one is the common beaded lizard, and that's the one I have. It's not any like the Alvarezi.
Yeah.
It's the
exasperatum.
Exasperatum. I think is I think that's the one that I have. Alvarezi and what's the other one? I don't know. There's like I think there's like 3.
Yeah.
And I have the common one, the ones you can buy for like $500.
Yeah.
It's the coolest lizard though. I used to have 2. One died for I'm not sure why, because they're so hardy. I have no idea. Could have been like a congenital heart defect or something.
Right.
No idea. But the one I have now, I got him a long time ago, but they can live like 75 years. Mm-hmm. They can live a long time. And he's like every bit of 3 feet.
Are you breeding him at all, or
no? Just keeping them as pets. I wouldn't mind having a colony of them, like several in a huge like walk-in enclosure. Mm-hmm. They're so I don't know. It's like they're posing for you all the time. I walk in and he'll be like gripping a big log, with his tail. Like every now and then, I'll take a picture and post it on social media. Casey's seen plenty of them. Yeah, and in case he's seen him in person, I'll like lay him on my arm, hold his, hold the front of his body here.
He just like reaches in and grabs it. It's like opening its mouth, like kind of like, it's pretty chill, but it like, I think the one when you grabbed it was like trying to bite you kind of at first.
The Gila monster is sketchier because it's little. I feel like it could whip around and bite you. Yeah. This guy, it would be really hard to get bitten by it, in my opinion.
Gilas get dog tame when they get older, though. When they're bigger, I used to work with them. I had a display where I had 2 pairs in these big melamine cages with drop down doors, and there was drawers underneath where they can go underground, and
that's cool.
Stuff.
Bob Applegate style.
Yeah. But I would drop the doors down and they would all kind of like come over to the edge and hang their heads over the edge. I'd go down and just hand feed them, like mice.
That's cool.
They take them right out of my fingers, get down to the end. The first one's done. I'd give them a second one, and it was a lot of fun.
Because they eat eggs, they're such gentle eaters. They're not like a monitor that like snaps and grabs and thrashes. They just very gently grab things. Yeah. So I'll feed mine quail eggs sometimes, and they'll get the quail egg into their mouth, but without breaking it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll crack an egg and put it in a bowl, and they'll lap it up like water.
Yeah.
So they're really cool. If they weren't venomous, they'd be the ultimate pet lizard.
Yeah. Did you hear about that guy in Colorado that died not too long ago from the Gila monster bite?
Was an allergic reaction.
I never followed up on it. I just know that he got bit by his pet Gila monster and didn't make it.
Pretty sure it was allergic reaction.
Probably.
Isn't it always? Yeah. It's always an allergic reaction with them, right? Because they can't just kill you.
Yeah, their venom's not considered like a deadly venom. But like I explained to people, people can die from a fire ant sting if they're allergic to it.
A bee,
Exactly. Bee. Yeah. I wonder if anybody can die from mosquito bites, man. That'd be brutal.
I know my bird can. Our birds can.
Like an allergy, because when a mosquito bites some people, they'll blow up. They'll get like a tennis ball size
kill more people than any other animal in the world.
Yeah.
So
do you deal with that a lot?
Different.
West Nile?
Mosquitoes?
West Nile concerns. Do you ever? Is that something on your radar out there? Being dry like that?
There was a couple of years where the West Nile was pretty bad, and I put screen up on all my windows and doors and stuff, and.
Yeah.
But lately, we haven't had anything. And, we have a mosquito abatement thing for the city. And if they detect West Nile, they post it. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one thing that, Mark, with his huge breeding facility, he's on top of that, and he'll definitely let me know.
Yes. Yeah. You got to be careful. Over here, and obviously, all about it over here. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have screens and stuff on your mews, you're just kind of like, waiting for something to happen. I do have one bird that when I acquired her, secondhand bird, she already went through West Nile and like she was molting her feathers out all weird. And I already knew it, but she was fine. Nothing wrong. And then now this year she's all screened in, but I'm noticing she's got like this little twitch in her head, almost like she's trying to flick a fly away. That's annoying her, but there's no fly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I text the group chat right now and I was like, oh my gosh, this bird's got, but now it's been like a week and she's completely fine. Like nothing, no more twitch, or 2 weeks. No twitch, no nothing. I wonder if since they got it and survived, if they're now, I mean, it just makes sense.
Supposedly that's
psychosis
that's the story, but I don't think that's, I've known birds that have had West Nile, recovered, and then died from it eventually.
When they got it again, you're saying?
When they got it again, yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if it's the load. You know what I mean? Like, is it one mosquito, or are they getting bit and sucked on like all the time and then they die?
I don't know. You know, it's, I had two of my best birds die days apart. And, oh man, that was terrible. It wasn't even a year that we were having any West Nile notices or anything. I just noticed that one day I went out there and two of my birds didn't eat their food. So, you know, it was like a Friday evening. So, you know, the vets closed over the weekend. I had to wait till Monday. But by the time Monday came around, you know, they were having a hard time getting back up to the perch. They were on the ground. But, you know, there was no like the typical West Nile stuff that, you know, their pupils weren't dilated and, you know, they just were just not eating, you know. So, you know, I bundled them up and took them to a raptor vet. And raptor vet's like, oh, it's a good thing you got him here early. You know, they still haven't lost too much weight. You know, we should be able to get this thing figured out. I'm like, all right. So, you know, next day I'm driving to work, says, oh yeah, Vina died. I'm like, what?
God.
Fuck. And then 3 hours later, you know, they said Siri died. I'm like, oh. So, you know, they're going to say, well, what happened? So they sent tissue to a lab. It came back negative for West Nile. The vet did not believe that. So she sent different tissue to a different lab and it came back positive for West Nile. So she said, oh yeah, it was West Nile. I'm like,
well, why negative though?
Yeah, exactly.
First time.
You know, where the you know, the premature molted, you know, feathers coming in. There was none of that in any of the mews. I just didn't buy it. You know, so, but whatever.
So yeah, it's always the best birds too. It's always your
It was the only time. Well, yeah, a couple times I've shed a tear, but yeah, this time it was really tough.
Yeah,
two of my best birds. You know, I've flown them the season before, and it was just it was so awesome. You ever fly two birds at once?
I flew 4 last year.
Oh, 3. Did you really?
3 last year. 3.
You go out, I mean, with 4 birds or whatever, and you just.
I flew 3 last year. I started off the season working with the late pulled imprint from the wild that was very skittish. So I had a lot of work to do with that bird. So I would work with that bird in the evenings and then fly like my reliable bird during the day. And then when that bird finally like came around, the other bird, then I flew him and then put the other one up. Then as the season progressed, then like meets were coming on and stuff. I had to go to North Carolina to the meet. We went to the Ohio meet, New Jersey meet. And so then I was like, well, I want to catch squirrels. So then I brought down the weight of the other goshawk. And then she was kind of like my shortstop basically. So she would just kind of like, I'd fatten her up during the week. And then if I knew I had time to fly 2 birds back to back all weekend, I'd kind of lower her down, start bringing her down on Thursday and fly her, you know, Saturday, Sunday, and then put her back up again. And she was fine. But yeah, I think last year, not this past season, the season before I flew 2 at the same time. And that's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much because it's like it's a balancing act. So you're trying to fly one and you're hoping you catch so that you can crop up and then skip the next day while flying the other bird.
Exactly.
If that bird doesn't catch, then you want to fly it the next day because whatever. And then now you have 2 birds to fly and one bird's getting the short end of the stick. So it's better if you just kind of like fly one at a time. And then especially if you have a maid bird, then you can, if both birds are made, I don't see why you can't fly 2.
Yeah.
If they're
And
made.
that's what I would do. Like you said, you catch one day, the next day you fly the other bird, and you just hopscotch.
Yeah, you just hopscotch, just
Yeah.
keep a mental note. Like I barely even put them on the scale. You just kind of keep an eye on them and like, all right, I know how much it ate. I'm skipping today. It's definitely going to be ready tomorrow. Mid-afternoon, she'll be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Bring her down. But you're not getting the same performance like if you're flying one bird every day or every other day, you definitely see a hit in performance. And
that's one of the things I was telling guys that want to fly like 2 Goshawks because, ultimately, the whole purpose of falconry is going out and catching game and having fun. And if one bird is more successful than the other, you got a first string, you got a second string, so,
yeah.
You come up, you got a perfect duck slip, you have 2 birds. Which bird are you going to fly? The one you're going to know you're going to catch, or
Right.
the other one? The other one can probably benefit from the experience, whether it catches or not. So yeah, if you're serious about, getting a good bird going, you just want to have just one bird. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think if you are hardcore into goshawks, I think you'd be foolish to just have one goshawk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they die too easily.
Ideally, you've made a bird like you have, Casey. You've got good, solid birds that are ready to go.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I don't need to make any more. I'm good. I got 3 birds ready to go and a 3rd mystery bird.
One of my red
3?
tails.
Only 3.
Yeah, those are rookie
serious,
numbers.
Dude. I know.
He never said he was a serious goshawker. He just said,
I try to be. I'm trying to be.
One of my red tails is a solid brown, dark morph Western red tail.
Nice. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful bird. And I'm not going to fly the brakes off of her.
Why?
Well, I would if I had to.
Just because of the color she has? Just because of her pigmentation? Not right.
I would if I had to. But I've got a made big Eastern red tail that can catch fox squirrels, rabbits, and gray squirrels. And then I've got this goshawk. So I've got the goshawk's going to be my priority. And then my Eastern red tail is going to be, that's my fallback safe bird, assuming she survives the summer. And then the Western red tail, I'm going to see what she's all about.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That sounds fair, doesn't it?
That sounds very fair.
Yeah.
I mean, if I take the Western red tail out and I catch 10 squirrels or something with her, that's fine with me.
Yeah. That was a bird you acquired and it had experience already catching game, right?
Supposedly.
Right.
She's a strange bird. She's captive born, Lew, and she has no aggression about food. She's not greedy.
It's weird.
You throw food in front of her on the perch and she won't even look at it.
Really?
Yeah, she won't even look at it. And then, you can go sit down on the patio and take a look at her. And she'll eventually look down at it and the wheels are spinning and then she'll hop down and just kind of gently eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. The video you sent me when you first got her and she was like in the box and you like opened it up and like you had your gloved hand and you like handed her food and she like just gently like took it like an owl, just like took it off the glove and ate it.
Yeah, or like she's dead.
I'm like, is that bird sick, dude? I'm like, yeah. But that's just how she is.
Anything.
Yeah.
Sounds like
yeah.
She's just like that though.
Yeah.
Like
it's weird. It's almost like the or the parent reared goshawks. How they don't mantle.
Mm-hmm.
They're not psychotic about food.
Yeah. It's like it's very strange. It's very strange how they act.
Bird,
I've never,
which is why
it's bizarre to see.
My expectations for her are kind of low, but I'd like to breed her, so I don't really want to like fly her super hard.
Yeah.
Lew, have you seen the chamber birds fly before? You've been out with them? Goshawks?
Not really. Dawn, not only chamber age, just passage bird. Don Hunley flew one last year, passage goss that he trapped, and it wasn't. No, and then Erlen Renslow, he's flying a. No, wait a minute, take that back. No, that is he got a chamber raised bird from Frank Ely, who got it from Lance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that thing's a monster. Holy cow! I mean, it smokes whitetail jackrabbits, 8-pound whitetails.
Wow,
it's pretty cool. Yeah. But I've only flown imprints. I've never flown anything else. So
yeah, I like imprints myself.
Yeah.
I don't like some of the mannerisms that you can get very easily unless you're like on your game. I got to up my game. Mm-hmm. I get some screaming. I get some mantling. It's annoying.
Yeah. I picked up a tip from you. In fact, that bird I was describing that was, from you. It was, the one that was, I didn't have enough game and you got, where it was baiting at my face all the time,
Yeah.
That's no fun. And it was actually from, let me think. The guy that built Jim built Forest Hawks. He just passed.
Oh, Jim. Yes, Jim. Yeah, Forest Hawks. Yeah, I forgot his last name.
He talked to you because I sold him a bird that he was having issues with, and I tell everybody, you got to have lots of game, lots of bags. You got to do this, and I don't think people really realize how much it really takes. Anyway, his bird was really aggressive toward him. And I think he talked to you and you told him about, how you're throwing tidbits out in front.
Right.
All the time. And I'm like, oh, wow, that sounds really cool. So I tried that. And that did calm the bird down a lot.
Yeah. That's not me, though. That's Steve Lehman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't just come up with that.
By way of Casey.
Say you came up with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it works. It's just, you just watch the body language.
You told him about it. And yeah.
That's falconry. You get good information and then you just pass it to the next person like you play telephone.
Yeah.
That's falconry in a nutshell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
so Lew, what's your method for imprinting?
Method. I've never really documented any serious method, but I could tell you that the first 3 birds that I imprinted, they were North American birds, and I followed the recipe. And they came out perfect. I never called them to the fist. And, it was always to the lure and never fed them on the fist. And they were fine. And it wasn't until, I started, interacting with other people with goshawks, that there's different ways to skin the cat, And so now, I don't have a problem feeding with my fingers or any of that. I think that the main thing, imprinting is just the fun part of it. The main thing is just when have to cut weight. And I'm even starting to think about the whole cutting weight thing too. Maybe not cutting weight as much as I used to, but just having plenty of bags. The last bird that I imprinted was a bird that I pulled from Alaska.
That's cool. Oh, I remember that.
That's awesome.
I was on the fall. You went the same year that Aaron Allred went, right? All of you guys went up there. I was like, I had FOMO. I had FOMO, fear of missing out. All you guys were up there driving around.
It was
they were nest maxing.
Yeah. God, that sounded
myself because I know these guys are going to see this, but I was all about I'm Don Hunley's a good friend of mine. And, and I'm just constantly talking to Don, and he was like, keeping me updated about how the whole IS take was going to take place. And I always told anybody, because I pulled my very first goss out of a tree and flew nothing but captive bred after that. And people would ask me, are you going to ever pull a bird again? I said, yeah, when Alaska opens up take, I will climb another tree. And son of a bitch, it did. And I was so excited. I was like telling everybody about this. Guess what? Everybody piled on.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to Aaron, so I knew Aaron did it on his own. He did it the right way, man. He, got in a raft and floated down the river.
Yeah.
And, it was like
freaking guy. I've been trying to get him on to talk about the reasons why he was on the raft, and he chartered the plane for like 2 full days, scouting the tundra, and he's just giving me a hard time about coming on the show. Yeah.
But anyway, it was pretty cool. And that bird, was finger fed. Oh yeah. And so, Don Hunley, he actually pulled a tiercel as well. I wanted a tiercel. So, we got 2 tiersels, and Don has he's a bear guard. Have you ever heard of that? Bear guarding in Alaska. You hire people to, walk around with a shotgun while people are working out in the field, make sure they don't get eaten by grizzlies.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a new concept to
I
me.
know.
He's like
That's
that
cool,
guy
man.
from what's that movie? Not the Revenant. What's the movie with crashes the plane and then they're trying to get to safety and the wolves are eating them.
The Edge or something.
The Edge,
Yeah,
yes,
so-
yes, with Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
No.
so he had a
That's Anthony Hopkins.
He couldn't raise
No.
a bird, and his wife was over it. So I said, yeah, I'll raise your bird. So I came back to Nevada with 2 tiersels, and it was just cool. And
Yeah.
my tiersel is, dude, I love that bird. God, it was. I don't know. Okay, so I got a nest box in the yard. Both birds are sitting in it. My tiersel would jump out and walk up to me. He would walk up, and
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's just I hadn't had a bird actually do that. It just seemed like he wanted to be around me. So when that bird, when I started flying that bird, it was just freaking awesome. It was great, and I didn't want to catch jackrabbits with him. I only wanted to catch ducks, and I wanted to catch bunnies. And I went to California, hunted with a friend of mine, Anthony, who had a good bunny spot. And it was a perfect setup where, sagebrush, a big open cleared area with a big pile of brush in the middle where they were cleared out the area and everything. And he says, if he walks through the sage on this side, the bunnies are going to run across and try to make cover into the wood pile.
Yeah.
So I just stand out there in the open, right? And I said, this is perfect. Well, son of a gun, man. He starts making his little drive, and the first thing comes out is this big California jackrabbit.
Of course.
And my bird took off the fist. I'm like, and he's like swooping at it and hitting it, but not binding to it. And, and it was a foggy morning, and I'm running and running. Then they just kind of disappeared into the fog, and I thought, he's not going to catch it. So I just started walking, and as I got closer to where they were, I could hear that rabbit screaming. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I run over there, and I'm going through this bamboo, and I see him tied up with this rabbit. And, as I'm making in, the rabbit got this sudden burst and just kicked free and got away.
Oh,
Damn. Well, we hunted the rest of the day. My bird, there was something different about him. He had great bunny slips. He actually even bumped away from me when I tried to pick him up one time. And I could see that there was something wrong with him. But I'm just thinking like, oh, maybe he just got kicked and, whatever, he's got his bell rung. Brought him home, gave him food. He took food. And when I feed, it's just, I don't, I have, at the time I had like 12 or 15 birds, I forget. But I would just go around and just open up the door, drop food in, the bird would come, and that's, he would take food. He'd take food, and I could hear him flying around the mew, with the food and everything. And I didn't think anything of it. And the following weekend, I went in there to take him up to go hunting. And when I walked in, he was weak. And I looked on the ground, and all that food I had given him, he hadn't eaten. So I think that kick, wherever he got, he died that night.
oh, man.
Yeah. It's always the best ones, man.
It's always the best ones, man. It's
Yeah.
always the freaking best ones.
Yeah. It is, man.
So you think he got kicked in the head or internal bleeding or something?
Yeah, something internal, I mean,
Damn.
yeah, you just kick yourself, I mean, you can't.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, just don't know. They die. That's the one thing, this me and my friends, we have a saying. It's like these Goshawks,
Yeah. It's a good saying. It's a universal saying, I think.
Yeah. You can bleep that out.
Yeah.
Well, if that's all right with you, we'll leave that in.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah, but
So now you got to make
why
another
when I'm
trip.
telling people about
Sorry.
when I'm telling people about my tiersel, I think a tiersel North American fully mature is the coolest looking bird in the world.
yeah,
With the dark, black, the slate gray, the touches of white, and the blood red eyes. I tell people, if my bird, oh my God, look at
that's ammo.
Ammo, of course.
Yeah,
That's
ammo, man.
that's Siberian though. Or that's 50-50?
No, that's pure Siberian.
But how do you get the blood red like that? It just comes through.
Yeah, and the other day I was like, holy cow, I can't believe how red his eyes are. Yeah,
Look at that.
He developed red eyes, man. He's pure Siberian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually you don't see that. Go ahead.
Point being, when I'm telling people that, I'm like, if he makes it to maturity, if he does.
Exactly.
And they're like, why are you saying if? I'm like, because he's a goshawk.
I know, yeah.
Like,
so many things can go wrong.
He had a brush with death last night, and he's a freaking baby. You know?
Exactly.
They just, these goshawks, they just got a way of killing themselves.
They do.
Yeah.
And now, Lou, what was that Tirso, what was he flying at? Because I heard the birds up there.
850.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's a big Tirso.
Those birds up there, they're bigger.
Yeah.
They're bigger. Aaron's bird will probably fly high sixes.
High 300s, maybe.
Yeah, mine, this guy I flew last year from the same area. Actually, it could have been from the same pair, but that female was acting completely different. So I don't know if it was the same pair. I mean, how could it not be the same pair? But she was trying to kill us last year. And then this year, she wouldn't even barely show herself, which was weird.
And what do the females fly at?
Females like 880.
880? That's a nice size.
860. Yeah, on average, something like that. Yeah, like the ones I've seen. It's weird because there's definitely all shapes and sizes, but those birds from that particular state and area, they're not
Was it
huge.
Wisconsin?
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Was it Wisconsin?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Because my first two females were, one was bred by Steve Coffer, and the other one was bred by Kitzman. I don't know if you remember him.
I know the name.
Jim Kitzman. Yeah, he got out breeding. But anyway, they were Wisconsin birds, and their flying weight was around 860.
Females.
Yeah, females. So, and that's a nice size.
No, that's nice.
My first Tirso, Nevada Tirso, flew at 580 grams.
Wow.
And typically the females fly, high 7s to low 8s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're a lot smaller.
Yeah, it's cool, the variation. Yeah, it's definitely cool. Yeah, the variation's super interesting. But yeah, those birds up all the way up there in Alaska, I really want to go. And pull a bird from up there.
Well, you know a guy.
I know a guy with a plane. I've been invited a bunch of times.
You just got to get that guy to actually go out there and do it. You know?
I heard it's not even like, I don't want to say it like this on the show publicly, but I heard it's not even really that difficult. Like it's like I know Aaron went out in like the middle of nowhere trying to look for a nest, and like a couple other guys went out looking, and then they were like, all right, we're getting kind of to the end of the trip. Let's just go pull some birds. And then they just go to Anchorage, and there's like 10 nests like around Anchorage. You just like take your pick and just climb. That was
4 nests. There was
4. Okay, it was 4, but still 4.
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot. That's crazy. But I mean, that's their habitat. That's where they are. That's like coming around by me and Aaron and being like, pick your red tail nests. It's like they're everywhere. Like you find them all over.
Yeah. The only time I've ever been hit by a bird when I was climbing a nest was in Alaska. Now I've climbed other nests. I pulled my first one, but that first year that I pulled my bird, I think I climbed 4 other nests for people. So that was a killer year in Nevada. I mean, almost every grove had an active nest. And then the very following year, I couldn't find a single active nest. So it's just I guess with the population, it just kind of
cyclical. And Nevada, like other states out there, there's no obviously, I mean, we did have a cool story from somebody on the show. I can't remember who it was that was talking about like a grove of cottonwoods, like down in the sage next to like a river. And there was a
cottonwoods?
Yes.
Or aspens?
No, it was cottonwoods, like down in the sage, like in the high desert. And there was a goshawk nesting in it. Super random, like very random. But for the most part, it's like once the elevation goes higher and there's like those pockets of pine, you just basically just check those pockets until you find nests. Is that kind of how it works?
In where I go, it's mainly in aspen groves.
Aspen groves. Now, how big is one of those groves on average?
They vary in size. I mean, when the places that we go, well, you've never been in an aspen grove, I'm assuming. I
mean, I may have, but
it usually starts out, interesting enough, an aspen grove is like the world's largest organism.
Oh.
They're all interconnected.
Yeah.
It's all one plant.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
At the beginning of a grove, the trees are relatively small and not very thick. when you get toward the middle of the grove, that's when you get the bigger trees. And that's generally where you will find a nest. It's typically in the middle of the grove with the bigger trees over a seasonal or running stream or creek with a flat open area relatively close by where they kind of come out and they can, I don't know, hunt or whatever.
Right.
But you just find those areas. And this year we went looking for a friend of mine, and heck, man, we went to like maybe 10 different groves and could not find an active nest. And then my friend Anthony found an active nest in California, a couple hours away from here, but it was in a pine tree, and we were going to like possibly, first time we've seen an active nest, all season. So we had a guy climb the tree. He's my apprentice. He was my apprentice, and he's a lineman for the electric company.
Oh, that's nice.
So he knows how to climb. He had all the gear and everything. But he climbed up there. There was only one bird in the nest, and it was like 24 days old. So we just left it.
That's frustrating.
Birdless this year.
Yeah, I only ask about how you guys are finding nests out there because we're in our neck of the woods. It's like, I got messages from people in the past, and they're just uninformed. And they're like, I don't understand why it's so hard to find nests. Like, there's guys out here that are finding them like every year, multiple nests. And I'm like, so he pissed me off, right? I'm not going to say his name, friend of the show, but he pissed me off. So I said, okay. So I went on Google Maps, and I go, what area are these people looking? And he was like, oh, usually in this town outside of there, like whatever. So I literally just went on Google Earth and went out there, and then I screenshotted it, and I took a little, the little highlighter thing on your phone, and I just circled all the trees surrounded by nothing. And I said, yeah, you could just check these spots, right? And then I screenshotted like New York. It's just a sea of trees as far as the eye could see. I said, so where do you recommend I start my search? Where do you recommend I start my search? He's like, you got to get out there. I said, I'm out there every day, every weekend. I said, it's a sea of trees up and down mountains. And you basically just have to look where like the transitional periods and the south facing slopes. And then you got to basically just drive up through these dirt trails and then get out and waste an entire day just hiking up and down these mountains looking. I'm like, at least out west. Oh, we do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. The Cruising for Chicks. You read that article playing if you get there early enough when they're establishing territories.
Yeah. I wrote that article when I was in my 20s.
Yeah. What?
Wink, wink.
Cruising for chicks.
Cruising for chicks.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
We need Phil.
No, just kidding.
We need Phil to go out there with the old like chrome boom box on his shoulder.
Yeah, he would do that.
Yeah.
No, but the calling thing is great. That's a huge pro tip, as we like to say on this show. And what is it, Lou? It's like in the mornings, right? Real early or something you play it, or you play it any time?
I don't think it makes a difference as long as it's this time of year. When they're establishing territories, they're pairing up and they're defensive of their territories.
Yeah,
you go in there and Don, I keep bringing up he was out looking for nests one day. It was kind of funny, and he called me and he said, "Hey," he said, "Can you send me a recording of your birds vocalizing?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I went into the backyard, and with my phone, I took a recording of the bird, cacking at me, and I sent it to Don. He goes, "Got it," and then I guess, just a couple minutes later, he goes, "Found it."
No way. That's awesome. Yeah.
He played it on his phone and a bird responded. So
yeah. That's works, you could play cat. You could do cacking. You could do baby screaming. And then I think owl calls will get them fired up to come try to find you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But I haven't had any success that way myself personally. I've tried
the Fox Pro game calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those would probably work really well for that. But even the coyote hunters are discovering certain sounds and calls work better than others, and people will come up with new ones.
Can you like really those Fox Pro calls? Can you upload your own sounds to them?
You can.
I believe so.
Well, that'd be cool.
That is cool.
Off just cards and everything. I'm actually getting in the market. I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna go ahead and purchase one of those. Not for Goshawks, but I want to shoot a mountain lion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. You got how much of a pain in the ass is it to get tags out there?
Oh, it's easy. For a resident, I don't know what a non-resident tag is, but it's $20, and and they don't issue enough tags. The quota is never filled.
Because there's no dogs allowed, right?
No, dogs are allowed.
Dogs are allowed, and they're not filling the quota.
Yeah, they're oh man, it's big business. I don't know if it's big business. I shouldn't say, but I just know that the outfitters that guide for elk and deer all hunting season. When the season ends, that's when they start doing the mountain lion hunting. And, there's I don't know if you saw I drew a bighorn sheep tag last year.
Oh, cool! I think I did see that.
Yeah. So last November, this is in a unit that's only like 2 hours away from my house that they used to issue like 15, 16, 17 tags every year. But in a space about 3 years, it went from like 15 tags down to 3 tags. And so when I you have to get your harvest inspected. I talked to the biologist about it, and he said predators. He said there's a high concentration of predators, and it's true because every time we would hit a wash when we were out there scouting and stuff, I would see mountain lion tracks.
Really? Have you seen any in the wild?
Not while I was hunting, but I have seen two different times mountain lions. Yeah, once in Arizona on a snake hunt, and one time we were snake hunting up here, just right up the street. Yeah,
at night,
big Tom
at night.
Yeah, this big animal walked across the road, and when I drove up, it was sitting on the shoulder, looking over its shoulder at me, panting, just right on the shoulder. I'm thinking like, it's not afraid. It's got to be somebody's pet,
Yeah.
So I kind of like rolled down the window and said, "Hey, kitty." And as soon as it heard my voice, it just took like one jump and it was just into the darkness. It was cool.
So you were that close to it.
Yeah, it was right on the shoulder of the road. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Cool. I'd love to. Very reputable source, friend of the show, friend of me and Aaron, lives very close to me. He just said that his wife went out to do her morning hooting to the owl. That they have an owl, and she loves the owl. So she drinks her coffee and hoots at the owl, and it's like, she said there was a mountain lion standing in the yard.
Wow.
In Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
no kidding.
And like she knows, like they've seen bobcats. They just moved to the place and they've seen bobcats a bunch and fox and stuff. Yeah. So she, and I'm
she
like,
knows what a mountain lion looks like.
Yeah. She's like, the tail was like as long as the animal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. That's crazy. And then me and Tom, my buddy from New York, we were hawking, caught a rabbit, and then we were thinking about making a play on some ducks. And as we're sitting there waiting to make a play on some ducks, this like big, F-150 pulls in, and some guy jumps out with his rifle and his camo and everything. And he's like, I'm just gonna go to my stand over here. He's like, you guys hunting here? And we're like, no. And he's like, hey, you guys want to see something crazy from my trail camera 3 days ago? And he comes over and he pulls his phone out and he starts like going through his pictures, and you could see like whitetails, and like you could see that it was like where we are, like in our area.
Right.
And he's swiping like this, and it's like field. And then there's like deer, turkey, and then there's a freaking mountain lion standing right in front of the camera, like that's right cool, in New York. Man.
Yeah.
I'm like, cause you see stuff on Facebook, like, oh, mountain lion spotted. And it's like, is it a mountain lion? It's like this blurry thing, like Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, he's like, they're here, man. They're here. He's like, anyway, have a good day. And then he just like walked in the woods with his rifle. And I was like,
Nevada, they say Nevada has one of the highest populations of mountain lions in the whole country.
Really?
And we, every year, we have sightings in town, where they have to trap them out of the park. Usually the juveniles have been kicked out.
Right.
Or not juveniles, but sub-adults, I guess,
Yeah. And they
pounders and stuff.
Any problems they ever get into, anything with pets and people and stuff? No.
Yeah, I think there's a problem every once in a while with pets. I heard of a horse being attacked not too far from here, but is generally they're afraid of people. Man, we hunt them.
Right? Exactly.
Not the same in California.
They're just like straight up eating
all the time. Yeah,
like that kid a couple years ago. He like watched his brother get eaten alive in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah. it was about maybe 6 years ago. We were on an elk hunt with a friend of mine, and he shot at a elk right at dark. And we couldn't find blood that night, but we went back the next morning. And I had a friend of mine from the Czech Republic who was actually, he worked for Mark Moglich, you know, with the Falcons and stuff, but he's an avid hunter. So we invited this guy, Jan, along. Anyway, there was like 5 of us, and we spread out in the area looking for blood. And I hear Jan calling me way across the little valley there. You know, he's on top of a rock outcrop. So I think that maybe he found blood or found the elk. So I ran over there. He goes, "Hey, did you see that animal?" And I said, "What animal?" He goes, "Over by Dillon. There was a big animal with a long tail." I was like, "What?" Oh. So we went over there, and, you know, my son's like searching this one area, and he said he never even saw it. I didn't see any animal, but Jan swears there was an animal with a long tail. And 2 days later, we were up on a trail up above this area, and we found a mountain lion track, big tom track.
Oh,
so
scary.
Yeah, Jan saw this mountain lion stalking my son.
It was basically stalking your son, right?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking.
It's very.
I don't know if he was stalking, or maybe, you know, Dylan walked by it and it ran off. You know, we don't know, but yeah, it was near my son at the time. So. That
is sketchy because they will. And then, like, what was that on the Meat Eater podcast where they were talking? They were basically having some fun because the biologists in one of those states out by you, they play the podcast. They tranquilize the cat. They put a tracking collar on it. Then they cut it loose and they wait like a week or two. And then they go out to where it is and they take a recording and they play.
Right.
And they're playing the podcast as they're walking towards it to document how close they need to get before the GPS signal turns and runs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very unnerving because most of the time they're literally like 10 yards away from you, just laying there watching you, like zero fear. And then they said they cut the dogs loose and then hazed them to try to teach them to like leave.
So I got one story, real quick story. When I was scouting for my very first goshawk, I was pretty fresh to Nevada. Just started doing a little bit game hunting and stuff. But anyway, so I was hiking up this one grove. I had my son, who was just a little guy, and one of his friends. And they had already hiked up a couple of groves with me, and they were getting kind of tired. Anyway, the stream had some like wild brook trout in it. So I left them at the bottom of the grove, and I told you guys hang out right here. I'm going to hike up this grove and see if there's a nest. So it was early spring, and there was patches of snow that I'm walking through, you know, so I'm hiking up, and right about when I'm getting ready to turn around, a Sharpie flies over my head and flies off the road. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to go up higher, you know? So I went up higher, you know, and I couldn't find it. Anyway, so I'm walking back and I'm seeing my tracks and everything. I come to this patch of snow and there's a freaking mountain lion track. There's a big track not a big track. I mean, it was a smaller lion, but I'm looking at the track. I'm like, oh, it's not a coyote. They don't have bears out here. You know, I'm trying to like, you know, go through it. And all of a sudden it just dawned on me. It was a freaking cat.
Following you.
And right then I'm like, oh, I could feel this thing looking at me, you know, and I'm thinking like my kids are down at the thing, you know. I didn't have a sidearm. This is before I I got home, I went to Sportsman's Warehouse and I bought a 357.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like, how stupid, you know, to be going out there and doing that. So That's I could feel I was walking backwards. They say that, you know, mountain lions or big cats, they like to attack from behind.
Yeah.
The people in India, you know, they wear the mask,
mask
backwards, you know, to keep. So you know, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, they do wear the mask, right? For the tigers.
Uh-huh.
I feel like a tiger, like I feel like they don't care. You think they're gonna? I feel like a tiger, if it wants to grab you, you think they care if there's like a mask on the back of your head? They're just gonna jump on you and rip your spine out of your freaking throat. I mean, it's like a 600-pound cat. Some of them are they 600 pounds?
It does deter them. I mean, I'm sure it's not foolproof, but it helps.
What do you mean deter them though? Like it's making a stalk on you, and because it sees a little face, it just all right, maybe another day, and just leaves.
There's that video of that tiger attacking the dude on top of the elephant.
Oh, that's a famous one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
That's
it looks like it comes out of a foot of grass.
Yeah.
It disappears.
You, I think it's going to get you.
There's not much you could do to stop it. I mean, even a small mountain lion, if it wants you.
Yeah.
The studies show that the eyes on the back of their heads did did reduce fatalities.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, think about like a cat. Like we talked about this on the show, but I would much rather be attacked by like let's say you have three predators, right? Let's say you have a wolf that weighs 100 pounds, you have a black bear that weighs 100 pounds, and you have a mountain lion that weighs 100 pounds. I'd rather be attacked by. I feel like I'd rather be attacked by the black bear.
Really?
Yeah.
A 100-pound black bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's like you could threaten it.
Yeah.
You could threaten it. They're more likely to give up and leave.
Yeah.
Like a mountain lion would be the last on the list that I would want to get attacked by, because they're not just biting and holding or trying to hamstring you or just they're like deliberately trying to grab your throat the entire time.
What if you're in the water and it's a shark?
Bro, I'm not even going to be in the water if it's a shark, bro. Screw that, dude.
You don't surf?
No, absolutely not. Out of the question.
He can't swim, actually.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm actually a very accomplished swimmer. We've talked about that ad nauseum. My blue ribbons. I have a shoebox full to the top of blue ribbons from my competing.
Is that right?
Yes, I was a phenomenal swimmer. But I'm terrified by sharks.
He insisted on swimming nude, though. He wouldn't put a Speedo on.
Yes. No, all my friends were bullies, bro. They'd make fun of me. I'd show up at the meet in town to face other, the other towns are in the area. And all my friends would have like the cool kid, like freaking trunks on. And I was the only little nerd up there with a freaking little thong on, little tiny little Speedo. And they're like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at his penis. Look at his wiener. It's so big. And then I would like, so big. They would, bro, I'd get on that block, dude. I could feel it right now. I could feel like my adrenaline going. I get on that block and I was like, I never had any confidence, but as soon as I got in and I would swim and then I'd look under the water because you could see, because it's a pool and it was just clear on both sides, dude. And I'd freaking flip and push off, dude. And I'd get halfway back and they'd be passing me still.
There you go.
I was like a seal, dude.
You've done a lot of stuff.
I was a leopard seal, dude.
Seals can outswim sharks. No problem, dude.
Yeah. No, sharks are terrifying. It is the most terrifying thing ever.
Yeah.
It's the most terrifying thing.
I showed Casey this video when I was up in New York with him of this great white breaking through an acrylic shark cage.
Oh yeah, that was.
And Casey jumped out of his skin. He couldn't even.
I couldn't even watch it. I can't even watch it. Yeah, I can't even watch it. Like it's just so terrifying to me. Like that one famous one of the guy in Australia, and he's cliff jumping, and I think he climbs over a fence, and then he jumps. He's got the GoPro, and he jumps. And when he jumps,
and then there's a shark underneath.
And then he's in the water. When the bubble's clear, he turns his head and you could see the shark right in front of him, deciding if it wanted to eat him or not. And he screams under the water and you see the bubbles. And then he's swimming and looking back and it's kind of just following him, deciding. And then as he's getting his feet out of the water, dude, my skin is crawling right now. I can't. It's so scary, dude. I don't get it.
When I lived in Florida, I used to surf a lot. Well, I surfed pretty much all my young adult life. But we had a big flat spell that came through for a couple of weeks. And then finally there were some waves, 2-3 foot. Everybody was out. And we were out at this one place and I'm surfing. And I hear this guy, he's closer to shore. He starts yelling, "Help, help. I got bit by a shark." And he had an accent and everything,
Yeah.
I was thinking that's uncool, be playing around like that,
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm looking up there and I see this guy in a spring suit. He crawls out on the beach, takes the leash off his board, grabs his arm, starts running up to the lifeguard station. And he runs by two guys coming down with surfboards. They turn around and run after him. I'm like, holy shit, So
and you're out there.
Yeah, we're out there. I call my buddy, there's sharks, dude. We used to see sharks all the time and we never got out of the water.
So scary.
As crazy as it sounds. They're not great whites, and the same thing with this kid. So anyway, we get out, we go up to the place, and by then the ambulance is there, and the guy's laying there, and he's traumatized, and you can see his arm, and he's got a line of teeth going up his palm right here, and coming down the middle of his arm. So,
oh my god,
where he was right in, he caught a wave, was in the trough right before the beach, and he was pulling his board in, and a shark came up and grabbed him and let him go.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's
How
so
crazy is that?
scary. He got lucky though.
But man, what a cool scar.
It is a cool
Think about
scar.
it. Yeah, you didn't lose anything. You're fine. But yeah, look at this.
I think most
Casey would
men.
have died of a heart attack.
I would have, as soon as the shark grabbed my arm, I would have just killed myself instantly, just to prevent the fear from. I would have just like pulled out. I would just, and it let me go, but I would have been dead anyway. I said that if I ever get shipwrecked and I'm like floating and I'm watching like my friends like get pulled under the water, I would literally just like slit my own throat. Dude. You think I'm going to live like that? My last moments on Earth are going to be me waiting to get sucked under the water by demons, bro. Screw that.
Yeah.
I'm out of here, bro.
That would not be fun.
Yeah, and the whole thing where it's like, oh, it's a mistaken identity. They're like, I watched this Shark Week with my son, and we're watching it, and I'm like, dude, it's like these guys are like they're like battered wife syndrome, dude. They're like making excuses for the shark, like it just like rips the girl's leg off, or like ate that guy, like that one guy that got eaten. Wasn't that in Florida? That guy just got eaten on film, and everyone's like screaming, and he's like,
no, in Greece, I think it was.
Was it Greece? And it was like right out, like it looked like a bay.
Yeah, you can
and he's
see
literally
the
just
guy,
getting like eaten in front of everybody, and he's screaming, and you
expect him to, actually get eaten on camera.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah. I always watch him just to see, and I'm always disappointed that nobody gets eaten. And it's like, I'm like, dude, mistaken identity, bro. It's like if they just feel like eating you, they're gonna eat you,
right?
And then it's like those people. I was thinking about this also, like those stupid videos where like those people are like, they push the nose away and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, if the shark comes at you, you got to push the nose away. And then I'm like, bro, watch that same exact tiger shark. Watch it. Or actually, I think it's a bull. What's the one that goes after it's a tiger shark that goes after the sea turtles, right? That's their prey.
Yeah. Tiger shark. Yeah.
Yeah. Tiger shark. And it's like, they're swimming with these tiger sharks and they're pushing the nose away. And they're like, oh, see how I misdirected and I pushed them. Mm-hmm. This is what we do to stay safe. And then you watch a video of a tiger shark chasing a sea turtle going like 30 miles an hour under the water.
Right,
I'm like, bro, your stupid little arm, like if it wanted to kill you, bro, like you are dead. Like you're not going to stop it from killing you with your little arm. Like you're dead, bro. Yeah. Like I don't care what you say.
That was a pretty cool documentary. If you ever happen to look it up, Ocean Ramsey's her name.
Ocean Ramsey?
Ocean Ramsey, yeah.
She just starts cursing out everybody under the water because
she's swimming with these giant great whites, grabbing their fins, and I'm like, crazy,
like Grizzly Man. You know about Grizzly Man?
Yeah, I know.
It's basically Grizzly Woman. Yeah, me too. The only part that bothers me is that we can't hear the audio that they have hidden.
I know
the audio that's still on the tape. Aaron, you know about that?
Yeah.
Of him getting eaten alive.
I've searched on the internet to see if it surfaced.
Of course you have, you sicko.
It says bad.
They hid it, right? They got rid of it. Yeah. That I'd like to hear that. So that's the two things. And all of like digital stuff is I want to hear Grizzly Man and his girlfriend getting eaten alive. And then I want to see the footage, not in a malicious way, but I would like to see the footage of Steve Irwin getting killed by the stingray.
Oh, I think that I've seen that.
That I thought was gone forever. I thought they locked that up.
I remember seing that. That was pretty wild.
Where?
Yeah. It was on the internet at one time. I think, yeah. Uh-huh.
I thought they like put that in a vault somewhere so nobody could see it.
Well, yeah, maybe. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Yeah. It was a big stingray and he was swimming over it in shallow water and it just went boom. And he just grabbed it and it was almost like he died instantly.
Oh, probably did. The venom right in the heart like that.
Yeah, right in the heart. Yep. Yeah.
I was also here. We were talking about a conspiracy. Never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
The conspiracy.
No. No conspiracies on this episode. We're having too much fun. Lou, did we miss anything? I feel like there's probably more we could cover with you, but I think this was a good one.
Yeah, we didn't talk a whole lot about Goshawks, but yeah, that's fine.
No, it was fun.
We're good. Yeah,
it was good. I mean,
sometime.
Yeah, we could definitely do it again. And before we exit, please put me on your list if you make a white goshawk next year.
Yeah,
I want a white tearsole.
Okay. Yeah. And come on out and hunt, man.
I would love to.
Like I said, we can set it up. I know that there's rumors. That place I was telling you about, Jackpot.
Yeah.
There's a rumor of a falconer who drove back after picking up a bird in Idaho, and he drove through Jackpot and he saw a bunch of roadkill. So it's one of those things that we have to investigate.
Got to investigate.
Season.
How far away is that from you?
6 hours.
Oh, okay. So it's a little far to just investigate casually.
It's worth it though. 6 hours is nothing. So
not for slips like you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you want to see it, like, come on, man. Hundreds of rabbits running in front of you. Yeah, whatever.
I believe it though. I believe it. I can imagine.
Seen it before where there's so much game that the bird won't even leave the fist because they don't know. It's like sensory overload.
Yep.
If you ever believe that. So
no, I believe it because I've seen it, and me and Aaron have both seen it this past season. We were in a spot with only black squirrels, and when I tell you there was hundreds of them, there was hundreds of them, and the bird just eventually stopped, literally just stopped chasing and was just sitting there, and they were like all around. Right, Aaron?
Yeah,
it was like a miracle that we even caught anything because it was bizarre. It was like nothing you've ever seen. And then we also had in North Carolina, the state with no rabbits, where we had so many rabbits running at that one spot that my bird just stopped and just was watching them run everywhere because they were just literally running in circles all over the place. It's nuts.
Wow.
It's a real thing.
The eastern cottontails are big too, aren't they?
They're chunky, yeah.
Bigger. Yeah. They're bigger than westerns, yeah.
Yeah.
Or desert cottontail.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are yours weighing on average, you think?
Oh, I don't know. A bunny, a couple pounds easily. But I know that Erlen Renslow, as far as like the amount of game caught in one day by a falconer and his bird, I think Erlen he caught 16.
Wow.
16. And this was a season where literally every single bush that you would kick had a bunny in it. And so Erlen was catching and releasing, just bunny after bunny after bunny. And when he finally gave up, he came back to his truck. And right before he got to his truck, he flushed a jackrabbit. His bird flew out and caught it. And it was with a female North American. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But now 16 catch and release. How many of those were captured before?
Yeah, who knows?
You got to notch the ear.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You got to notch the ear.
Do you know what the bag limit is in Nevada for upland game, which rabbit is considered upland game?
Oh, wow. I did not know that. What's the bag limit?
2 for falconry. In
2?
the aggregate. Yeah, so you can catch 1 bunny and 1 quail.
As upland?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Here's the thing. After you catch that 1 bunny, 1 quail, then you can put it down, pick up your shotgun, shoot 8 more bunnies, and, shoot 10 more quail.
Why is it skewed like that?
It's weird, and it's one of the things that I've talked to falconers around here. We have pretty good. Otherwise, it's we have a good department, and to kind of I don't know. The reason why is that sage grouse is considered upland game.
Right. Yes.
So you can come to the state and catch 2 sage grouse in one day. So
it's because they lump them all together as upland. I think they need to separate it then.
Yeah, it would be, especially with the rabbits and everything, the way they were. I mean, before it was 10 rabbits, but now I think they reduced the number to 5. And the falconry season starts September 1st, but the gun season for rabbits starts like I think in November. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now they just changed that a couple of years ago with the.
Oh, so maybe they gave you an extra month or 2 to start flying your birds, but you get less head count, and that's what balances it out.
Yeah. So we were like, just leave it alone. But
that makes sense.
Still,
I'm fine with 2 a day.
Yeah.
I mean, but not if there's a rabbit under every bush, though.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. I couldn't do that.
Yep.
But all right, Lou.
Cool.
It was great talking to you, man. Thank you so much for your time.